And if so, what specific initiatives would you implement to reduce illegal immigration?
Let me answer the last part first, then I'll go back and elaborate a little bit. The problem of illegal immigration, I think one of the things that we need to do is we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with states like Arizona in their fight against illegal immigration there. And we need to push back on the federal government like they're doing. Then we need here in Tennessee legislation like the Arizona legislation that is specific to our state. Now, do we have a problem in Tennessee when it comes to illegal immigration? The answer to that is yes. I think that there are generally two types of illegal immigrants within our borders. We have illegal immigrants that are here to be involved in illegal type activities and drug trafficking, those kind of things. And then we have illegal immigrants that are here illegally, but they're involved in otherwise legal activities. Now, does that make them legal? The answer to that is no. They're still illegal immigrants. And when you do something that is illegal, then there needs to be consequences. We need to give our law enforcement officers all the tools that are necessary to carry out the consequences for illegal activity. And being an illegal immigrant is an illegal activity.
I think the key word in all this is illegal. Of course, we have immigration, and our country has welcomed that for years, but we have not welcomed illegal immigration. I think we do have a problem in the state of Tennessee, and I think we as a state need to address our own issues. Every state has different issues with this type of illegal immigration, and we do need to address it. I think it has to be an education process too. You know, for them to come here and work, there must be a reason. Somebody's using them. So I think it's more than just looking at the immigrants themselves. We need to look at the people that hire them, why they hire them, why they're not turning them in, why they're not doing the things that they should be doing to help the state with this problem. But I think too, before we start putting it on to the local governments and so forth, we need to see there are great costs involved in doing this. We're going through budget problems right now, every phase of government, the cities, the counties, the state. So when we come up with the laws, and we need to be very careful that we do it, that it's something that we can do, and we do have the money to do it. And just don't pass a law we can't carry out. Let's be realistic and pass a law we can't carry out.
I agree that we need to do something about illegal immigration. We've got more than just a problem. One of the problems we have is political harassment. You know, we need to be able to profile. If these people are in here illegally, if they're here legally, they'll have something that shows that they're legal. If they're here illegally, they may have something counterfeit that shows that they're legal. But we need to be able to determine, and our law enforcement needs to be able to go beyond what we've been doing to find out if these people are here illegally or not. I agree with everything these folks said about the Arizona law. We need to adopt something similar to that. I don't know if we need to do, you know, exactly what they've got, but we need to do something now.
Just a quick reminder to the candidates, 6 of the 7 of you have a red card remaining. If you feel the urge to use it, you still have that opportunity. Mr. Roberts, you'll answer this next question first. Some people are calling for a state constitutional amendment to prohibit a state income tax, yet it is highly unlikely that such a tax would be proposed in the foreseeable future. What type of priority do you put on such an amendment and why?
Before I answer that, I have to just say one thing. To those of you who are trying to reach my wife, I finally heard from her a minute ago. I've been worried sick about her because for an hour she's been missing with my 3 little kids, and she left her phone at home and got lost coming over here. So she stopped and borrowed a phone and texted me. So those of you who are trying to call her, you can stop now. She's okay, and I'm much relieved. So the answer to the question is actually very short, so I don't think I'll go over time. I'm absolutely 100% opposed to a state income tax. There is a process that's required to go through a constitutional amendment. That process takes quite a bit of time chronologically, but it doesn't necessarily take quite a bit of time as far as the effort of the legislature. And so, is it a priority? Yes, I'd like to see us do it. Will it consume a lot of legislative time? I doubt that it would necessarily, although it would take a period of time to get passed.
Dr. Pine.
The issue on income tax, it kind of puzzles me because one attorney general several years ago ruled that we already considered it unconstitutional. And then whenever Sundquist was in office, his attorney general ruled that it's not unconstitutional. So which one is right? I don't know. But I would guess that probably the previous administration and administrations before that, for the history of this state, are accurate in that we're not supposed to have an income tax. However, I am adamantly opposed to it, and therefore, I would definitely support a constitutional amendment in our state to oppose it and keep that from ever happening if we have to go to that extreme.
It's very well put, and I agree with that. I too oppose a state income tax. But let's think for a minute here. And first off, let me say this. I would support the constitutional amendment, but it would take some time. But a responsible government that is doing what's best for the sovereign people and not taking too much of their money and spending too much of it is not going to have an income tax. You people need to be engaged daily in the government. You are the government. You need to be looking at those people. And when they're laying something on there that's going to take money out of your pocket, you need to bring it to the attention then. Rather than let it pile up for decades and decades until we get to this point where now we've got a big problem. And you know what? Nobody's going to want to fix it because somebody's benefiting from it and somebody's going to have to be cut. But I do not support an income tax, and I would support the constitutional amendment.
Okay, Mr. Sturmatt, this next question will be answered first by you. According to the Tennessee Ethics Commission, in 2010, there were approximately 500 registered lobbyists representing more than 1,500 organizations. What effects do you believe lobbyists have on state government, either positive or negative?
I think lobbyists, they do positive and negative. You know, they're out there lobbying for what they feel they want. We have some that lobby for us, and we have some that lobby against us. The ones, and it would be hard for me to say where to go with that because what was that question again?
I'll read it again briefly. According to the Tennessee Ethics Commission, in 2010, there were more than 500 registered lobbyists representing more than 1,500 organizations. What effects, either positive or negative, do you feel that lobbyists have on state government?
Well, like I did say, they do have some positive and some negative. They're out there fighting for us. When they're fighting for us, it's positive. But when they're fighting for other areas that, you know, it's going to be a negative. So they do positive and negative.
Mr. Slater?
Lobbyists certainly have an effect on state government, federal government as well. They have an effect when it comes to educating legislators to their particular group or interest or issue. And so as it relates to them educating educators, I think that influence can be very great. Depends on whether or not they're educating the legislators according to the Constitution or not. And then it comes into play as well where that money goes. Lobbyists and special interest groups, they promote certain candidates to sway them in a particular way that is of interest to them. It's like a television set. television can either put out good material or it can put out awful material. And as Jeff said just a minute ago, lobbyists can either be for good or for ill. I think the important thing for any state legislator to do is to be sure that he or she is firm in his or her convictions and make sure that they're going to do what's right according to the Constitution and not be swayed by lobby dollars or by their particular agenda. And I would commit to making sure that I'm accountable to the voters, to the Constitution, and that I'd stand firm regardless of a lobbyist position.
I think the state of Tennessee has done a real good job in the last few years of passing some ethics legislation. I think that has got ways to go and still, but they've gotten started with it. Lobbyists have a place, and as been mentioned, their place is for education. Is to be able to do a lot of the background work and so forth that maybe a lot of times the legislatures, with so many bills out there, they don't have time to do the research. I think that should be as far as it should go. And I know lobbyists in years past have stepped over that line as far as trying to persuade and with monies and things like that, but they need to be treated as that. And as has been talked about, lobbyists can have an ill effect, and that's where we as legislators need to stand up, know what our convictions are, what they are, and use them only as a source of reference.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Wilbur has answered the last question in the question portion of our program. Each candidate will now be given 2 minutes to present closing statements. Since this is the last time that you'll hear from each candidate, you're invited to applaud for candidates as you like. We will go in reverse order this time from the opening statements. So we will begin with the candidate furthest from me, and that is Mr. Stromat.